Well, hi folks, it's week 7 of the knee recovery and it's going well, it's going very well. We had the consultant appointment earlier in the week and he was quite impressed with my exercises. I did a knee bend as requested and I managed to get to a personal record, 115 degrees, although it was under a bit of pain. After that, he asked me to do several other exercises and those exercises I've actually built into my routine. He was impressed with all the exercises and I haven't got another appointment for 6 months now. So on consultancy side, I'm pushing through and we're getting to the next level, getting back to the outdoors and getting back to a normal life again. Now, I must admit, I can bend my leg well enough, although there is still some stiffness, massive amount of tightness here. It does feel like this is artificial. It doesn't feel like it's me because it's so rock hard here. I mean, well, tapping here, I mean, that's not actually my leg. It's plastic and titanium now. Even my kneecap was partly replaced. As I say, it's quite stiff. It's very tight underneath the skin and it's constantly swollen, even when I think it looks the same size as the other leg. But even the consultant, when I went in and I said, oh, this is the best my legs that look so far. He says, oh, still swollen. I've been told possibly up to 2 years you could get the swelling for and the tightness for over a year. But overall, managed to walk a lot better. I'm down to 1 crutch. So now walking around with 1 crutch, going out near enough every day now, going just around the block. But hopefully we're going to stretch that out and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll be able to at least do a short walk, 3 or 4 miles without too much pain. The bad point is that it's not about the walking side I'm finding the difficulty. It's actually getting home, sitting down, and that's when my leg starts to swell. So we've got to get the ice pack on it and everything else. So we're going to have to wait a while before I can get out and do a camp or even do a day walk because I'm going to need the ice straight away. We are walking local. Still going to be off work for another, I don't know, I think it's about another 10 weeks before I go back to work now. I think the consultants and the physio and nurses want you to be fully fit before we go back to work. And because I do quite a physical role, it would be safe and wise for me to go back at the right time and not trying to jump the gun and think, let's go back to work now. And some problems start to arise where I can't carry the weight on the leg or I can't walk that far or my leg starts to seize up. So we'll do as they say. They did say these knee joint replacements last about 20 years, but because I'm into the outdoors and I do a lot of walking and everything else, then that potentially could actually reduce in time. So it could only last me 15 years or 16 years, which I'm hoping not be, because generally they don't like to do this surgery again. And I don't want to really go through all this procedure again. So we're going to look after my leg as much as possible. It doesn't mean I'm not going to stop going into the outdoors. So that's that. Let's go on to the exercises. A couple of new ones we've added into the mix because since I've seen the consultant, and I think they're actually helping me a lot better. So let's go on to do the exercises again. Okay, so moving into Andy's gym, the hallway, where I'm doing all my exercises for my knee. Now, when I saw the consultant, I had to do several different maneuvers, I would say, rather than exercises, to see the degree of my bends and how well I could straighten my leg. Now, this is continuations of what the physio has shown me, but I've added some of these into my exercises as a regular routine. So one of the things I was asked for the knee bend was actually to bend it as much as possible. So I was thinking in the back of my head, I didn't want this operation where they were going to snap my leg back under general anaesthetic to give it more flexibility, but then you get back to the pain issues that you had from week 1. I didn't want that. I wanted to do it naturally. When we went in there, he asked me to bend my knee back, and what did we get? Well, I really pushed for it, and I really went back and bent it as far back as I possibly could. When I was in the clinic, I held it back, and it was really hurting, but I managed to do it. This is a few days on since then, and now I'm managing to hold that at that degree. And let's have a look at what we've got. Again, it's not the easiest thing to be able to measure because you could try and to look with a pivot point, which is where the hole in the center goes, which is that point there. Level it off between the muscle and the bone, and then go back that way. That points down to the ankle bone. So what we got? And we've got 112 degrees. 112 degrees there. It was 115 I managed to do under duress, and now I managed to do 112 degrees holding it where actually no real more pain. Improving all the time. Doing these exercises now, they say 3 times a day, and actually every time I walk into the hallway I'm having a bit of a knee bend or I'm trying to straighten my leg, so I'm probably doing them 6 or 7 times a day. So we do this several times. I usually do about a set of 10 now, bending it, straighten it, give it a break, and then I'll move on to the other exercises, as I find that this one helps me a lot more. So moving along, we're now moving on to this exercise. So this one, bring the knee up, bending it forward as much as I can, and like last week I think I was about to here. Now if I really go for it I can near enough get my knee close to that wall as possible. Keeping it and holding it. I try to keep my legs straight, so I'm thinking about the easiest thing with me now is because I've got this big scar that's in a straight line down my leg. I'm trying to keep my leg as straight as possible. It does make it a little bit more of a pain that way, but I'm sure that must be the way it should be going. So I'm holding it for a few seconds, and then let it back, release it, and again I must be hitting over 90 degrees again. So bending that. Now balance is a little bit better now, and it fall over like I did last week. Okay, so there's nearly fell over. 105. So last week when we were doing this, I think we were around 95. So again, 105. If I wasn't measuring it, I could have pushed that a little bit further to about 110 as well. So this exercise is just as good as actually getting and sitting down and doing it. So that's those 2 exercises. So moving on. They asked me to do in the consultant room, they did ask me to do squat. So he wanted me to do a squat and see how far I could get down. He only asked me to see could I squat was the question. So I'm managing to get that far down, and then all the way up. Again, not the best back movement, but it's more, I'm thinking more about my knees at the moment than actually my posture. So that's not a bad exercise, and that really does help, because most of the exercises when you're sitting down on that apparatus and everything else, you are holding something or something is giving you balance. That one is about you doing it freely yourself. Again, do about 7 or 8 of those, pause it, and then do a few more. Okay, so that's the 3 sets of squats I'm doing now. Then we go to the legs straightening exercise. So from last week, I put the books on my knee. Well, I now realise if I put a cushion underneath, they seem to balance a little bit better. So again, push them down as close as I can to the edge of the back, top of the knee. This is raised with a pillow, either a pillow rather than a towel or a cushion. So I've got a big gap underneath here. By doing this, it straightens the leg as much as possible. It is where I'm struggling. Now I thought I was going to be struggling with bending the knee. Instead, I'm actually struggling with trying to get it as straight as possible. It's 4 or 5 degrees at its worst, but obviously the object is trying to get it to 0 degrees. Put the books on there. Now I don't have to hold them. They're balanced nicely with the cushion on there. You don't need to do any more than 5 minutes. The key thing is when you do the exercises, do them when you've taken your painkillers, so you've got less pain. I'm not finding so much pain now. Physio and the consultant have told me to keep taking them, so I shall do. Because there is one place I'm struggling, and that's at night time. I'm struggling to sleep, rolling over, because it's still, the knee is stiff and quite tight, and I find that it's just not very comfortable. So I'm doing the exercises on a daily routine, still 3 times a day minimum. I'm also going out for a walk every day now, even if it's just around the block. And we're down to 1 crutch. So it's all looking in a forward motion. So let's go over to the 5th exercise. So I find this to be my 5th exercise. So once I've done the leg straightening exercise, whereby I'm putting the books on my leg for 5 minutes, Then I come back and do this one because my leg is just the straightest altogether. So I push this leg against the wall and touch both legs against the wall. So now you can see that both my legs are touching the wall. You can see quite clearly that my calf is pushed up against the wall and my thigh is as well. And I hold this for a few seconds, release, and then go back here, straighten it out and push it out again. And there you go, that is the 5th exercise. So let's move on to exercise 6. Okay, so 3 exercises still to go. So we've got this one, which was the leg raises. Now, how they showed me at physio was just to go like this. Problem is I don't seem to feel like making much clearance. So what I do is take that away, lift my leg straight up, hold it, bring it down. That way I can feel the muscles working all the way up. It is quite painful, and the consultant told me I'm overdoing it, but the pain isn't as bad this week as it was last week. You may be overdoing it, but it seems to be easing off, so it must be working. So that's that one. Then we've got the other 2 exercises that I'm doing. One is that we're using the strap. You get my leg, and now what I'm doing is bending this as much as I can, bringing it up as far as I can. So I'm using the strap to pull it up as much as I can possibly do. And that's, again, we are getting to about 90, 100 degrees doing this one as well. So that's that one. And then the last one we're doing is bringing the toes up, trying to strengthen my whole leg. So tensing it all up. So tensing it up in the calf, trying to tense up the quads. As you can see, my quad is a lot weaker now than it was before. In fact, I haven't even got a shape of a quad really. Used to have quite good quads. Hopefully that'll build up in the next few weeks. And I can feel a little bit of strength here. I can feel my knee being pushed in again. And I can feel the leg as well. So that's those exercises. Okay, so that's the exercises done for this week. And next week, I am planning to do my recovery video all outside. Fortunately, we've got a big deer park near me. So we're going to go and wander over there, and hopefully the deers aren't going to start chasing me. One thing the consultant did say to me is that if I'm going to be doing these outdoor activities in the future, these knees aren't built for running on. So I'm not going to over-exert it and start running as well. Let's hope I don't get chased by any deers. Right, anyway, that's it for this week. Week 7 complete. So until week 8 or next week. So take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. And don't forget to subscribe or leave a comment. Bye-bye, hikers.